Welcome back to the Photography Show TV studio here, where I'm delighted to be joined by Superstage speaker Roberto Valenzuela. Roberto has literally just landed in the UK. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Obviously, this is awesome.
You are going to be speaking on the Superstage about going from averageness to greatness.
The super incredible stage.
The super incredible stage,
yes.
Not the average stage, the super stage.
The super incredible, amazing, most awesome stage ever.
And your mission, your the challenge that we've thrown you, and hopefully that you'll be throwing to people who will be joining you for that session, is to how to take their creativity, how to take their execution of their vision and their clients' visions to that next level. So just what? That's quite a promise.
Yep.
How are you going to meet that promise, Roberto?
We're gonna deliver.
Okay,
we're gonna deliver. Well, 18 years of experience definitely shows you some stuff to do and look out for, you know. But the main thing is, I think in the wedding world, it's such a repetitive situation. And I've shot over maybe 500 and 600 weddings now, and in that time, the repetitiveness got to me, and I just was desperate for a breakthrough and no longer do what I do every wedding, even though the events of a wedding stay the same. I wanted to, how can you break out of that average photography and do something incredible? Can we do it? Do we have the time to do it? And the answer is, yeah, of course you can. It took me some time to do it. We're gonna talk on the super stage about what I discovered, what is the most effective way of breaking that average and going into something where people actually take notice. They're like, this looks different, right? And this looks like it's higher caliber. If you go to a restaurant, you eat a meal that's like a 2-star Michelin or 3. You know the difference between that and a regular place like at a pub or something.
Yes.
There's no doubt. But in the photo world, clients are not really that educated on between what's good and what's amazing and what's incredible. They just don't know. But when you show them the difference, even though they're not aware of technical abilities or lighting abilities, there will be something about the photo that they're like, this looks like it's at a different caliber, okay? And that is not so easy to identify, like just by shooting a few weddings. You really have to know what's going.
That's quite subjective as well, because what might be mind-blowing to one of your clients, particularly if they don't know what they want, it's like, well, we know we want something that's good, but we're not going to be too prescriptive.
That's right.
For you then to demonstrate that you're able to, and for them to trust that you're able to take the outcome to the next level, that's a journey of trust for you as well as for your clients.
It is subjective. Except with what I want to teach at the super stage, you can actually make it more objective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't matter if the person is aware of your magical lighting. See, that was one of the mistakes I made, right? I thought if I add more stuff, I will be breaking out of average.
Yeah.
And that adding more stuff added complications, and it wasn't necessarily the answer. You know what I mean? It's actually simplifying, still having major technical abilities, because that allows that flexibility when you don't know, when something that wasn't planned occurs. If you understand, if you have a handle in technical abilities, you'll be able to respond quickly, right? But one of the main things I want to discuss at the super stage is actually, besides the posing and the lighting and all that, which is the obvious way of breaking out of average, is the non-obvious part, which is something that I'll wait till then, I guess,
okay,
to talk about. But it has to do, I'll give you a teaser, it has to do with combining 5 storytelling techniques with the most important people in the bride and groom's lives. Those 2 things, if you can get those 5 storytelling techniques, combine them properly, and apply them to the most important people in the bride and groom's life, that becomes a powerhouse. That becomes objectively better. That becomes something where people go, this photographer is at a different level, So,
and this takes me, and you touched on it there, to my final question for you really is because, being responsive on the day. There are set pieces that many clients have at wedding. I had those at my wedding, even though we asked for a reportage style photographer for our wedding. There were still 1 or 2 shots where I wanted my mum and dad to be in them.
of course.
how are you able to, with the lights, with the flash, everything else, be responsive to what unfurls in front of your eyes? You know, you might have some ideas about what, including these 5 important people and so on in the storytelling journey. How are you able to be responsive depending upon whether there's a sudden bit of weather or something else to capture those moments as well as the storyboard that you may have planned out beforehand?
Yeah, and see, that's a great question, and I think the obvious answer would be, again, you bring your technical ability, your flashes, your softboxes, your umbrellas, and you try to. But anybody who's shot more than 2 weddings in their life knows that bringing a bunch of equipment is a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
Okay. So the answer to that, at least with my experience, and what I've created, is learning how to use the environment as your studio modifiers.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I have mastered that, and I've studied that, and I have worked on that for 18 years. And it's like everything, even in this place, like just looking at the walls of this place, I would modify this. This gives you a different modification in that corner right there.
Yeah.
And when you're at a wedding, you respond to the environment as your modifiers. You can respond to anything quickly. You're talking about seconds. Instead of, hold on, let me go get my 4x1 softbox and put a grid on it. You see, all this stuff where you keep piling equipment to a wedding, that's just going to destroy you. You know?
Yeah.
Like, the best weddings I have ever shot were the ones where I focused on those things. The 5 storytelling abilities with the most important people in their lives, combined with excellent lighting, which is modified by the environment and not necessarily by typical photography gear.
So it's an awareness of your subjects, who those important subjects are. It's awareness of the storytelling elements there, but it's also an awareness of the environment and using that as a tool in your kit bag.
That's right.
Even though it might be a wall, it might be a ceiling, it might be just something else that's there on the day.
Or the color of the carpets, or the texture of the buildings. If you have a flat building with a flat surface, I know that if I flash that building, the light coming back will be incredibly flattering for a bride.
Okay.
If I have the mom is older and she wants to stay looking young, I will look for something that has more of a flat surface to light her up with. Yeah. And I'm not talking about walking a mile. I'm talking about just taking 2 steps, you know? But if the groom wants to look cool, I would find something like a corner. The lighting will hit them in different areas and it creates that shadowing and creates more of that mystique. I mean, you're talking about stuff that's in front of your face that we never even thought about. We never even looked at it. Combine that technical ability with, it requires flashes, sure.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about not having to worry about bringing all these thousands and hundreds of accessories, and then you're looking for them in a bag and you don't know where one is. And you know how those things are. Like, if you don't find one, you cannot attach the rest.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I need this thing to make that one work. You know? And by the time you do that, you have people already looking at you like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
So, I've always wanted to take weddings from average to superior. I want people to look at a wedding photographer and respect that photographer like they respect fashion photographers, right? And I shoot fashion now too. And I got to tell you, my fashion job is a lot easier than my wedding photography jobs. Wedding photography, a good wedding photographer is a master of a lot of domains. A good fashion photographer is an incredible person that knows what story to tell for product purposes. But a wedding photographer, man, you have to switch your hat, and like you have to be a photojournalist, then you have to be a flash person, then you have to be a commercial photographer for all the details, then you have to shoot groups and post single people then you have to be a psychiatrist and a therapist, then you have to control that the bride is not getting into a fight with her. Like, it is a fun job because it allows you to create art in the most stressful environments, and the environments are full of junk. Like, if you walk into a bride's room getting ready, it's like you got the nachos, you got the champagne, you got like the underpants all over the place. It's just like a mess. And in that,
our wedding, because you summarized it pretty well.
I mean, I walk into the room like this is like some hurricane went through this place. And in this environment, you have to find, as a master wedding photographer, you have to find the magic in this environment, create something special. And if you complain about the location, then you're just not at that level of expertise that you think you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So, situational awareness, find the magic in that environment. There's going to be some magic taking place on the Superstage Theatre on Tuesday.
Incredible. Yeah, I'm really excited about this talk. I think I'm really pumped about it. I think people that go to this talk are going to realize that there's a whole new world out there that is not what you would expect to hear. Does that make sense?
Roberto, it's been a real journey listening to you for the last 5 minutes or
Yeah,
so,
thanks,
and I hope to be there on Tuesday as well,
I hope
because
so.
I'm going to take a lot away from that. Roberto, but for now,
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much
Mucho gusto.
indeed.
Thanks a lot. Thanks
Cheers.
a lot. Thank you.